Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today I'm talking about my top 10 weeknight games. Like a game, it's a weeknight, so everyone I think is going to define this differently. Here's how I'm defining weeknight games. I get home, I eat dinner, I just want to kind of kick back and play a game. These are 10 games. This is a hard one for me to kind of quantify the best weeknight game, so I'm just kind of putting them on here in some sort of order as to kind of where I'm feeling about them right now. But I'm assuming I'll play with my family, maybe some friends that will come over. So I don't want anything too heavy. Sometimes it's just my wife. I have a couple of those on the list. Sometimes it's, the weeknight games. So here we go. Number 10 is 10 Days in the USA. You could substitute 10 Days in Africa, 10 Days in Europe, 10 Days in Asia, 10 Days in South America, whatever. I think 10 Days in the USA is the only one that's been reprinted recently, but this is a fun game that me and my wife would like to play. It's kind of like a Racco style game where you have a map of the U.S. It's just the board doesn't really matter. It's in front of you. You can see it just for reference purposes, and you have a bunch of tiles that show each of the different states, or if you're playing 10 Days in Africa, the different countries, and you are each turn basically rearranging them a little bit so that you can drive from one state to the other. But you also have airplanes that are of different colors. So maybe an airplane is a green airplane, and Pennsylvania is green, and South Carolina is green, and you can, or not, maybe South Dakota is green, and you can put Pennsylvania, green airplane, South Dakota, and go from one to the other. That's it. But it's simple, it's fun, it's not too heavy, but it's fun. It's the kind of game we have a conversation, and for me and my wife, works really well with two. But also you can bring in another couple or some other people and have fun with it also. So 10 Days in the USA. Number 9 is Space Base. One of my favorite games of all time, but there's just something about rolling the dice and trying to get the numbers that are on there. You have spaceships in front of you from 2 to 12. You roll 2 dice, whichever you pick how you're going to activate them. If I roll a 4 and a 5, I can activate my Spaceship 4, my Spaceship 5, or Spaceship 9. Most of the spaceships give you money, income. Sometimes they do other special things, and sometimes they give you points. Points is how you win. And then at the end of your turn, you can buy a new spaceship, which replaces one of your spaceships. And then that spaceship that you replace turns upside down and activates on other people's turns. So if someone else rolls a 4 and 5, and I've replaced my 9, now my 9 will activate on other people's turns. And it just keeps compounding, and you're getting a whole lot of stuff every time anyone rolls a dice. So that's a lot of fun. Number 9, Space Base. Number 8, sometimes, you want to kick back and watch yet another CSI, NCIS, you insert police procedural here. This is Chronicles of Crime. Chronicles of Crime is just kind of one of those games where you're walking through. It uses an app, and you have a kind of a case. Some sort of case happens. Several cases come in the base game. There's also ones that go around different times in the future and past, and noir and all kinds of stuff. But you just talk to different people. Ask someone about this. Ask someone about that. Go to a different location. They feel dynamic. People are moving back and forth in between them. But essentially, it feels like you are in a CSI episode, and you're trying to figure everything out. And I like that. So if you know someone who's a Law and Order fanatic, and they just want to sit back and watch Law and Order at night, this is the kind of game that's fun to sit back and play at night. That's Chronicles of Crime. Number 7 is Dice Town. Sometimes I want to play kind of a party game, but not quite a party game, just, rolling dice, Western feel, and that's what Dice Town is. It's a little bit of poker. It's a little bit of party. It's a little bit of Western. And you roll dice, and you're making a poker hand with those dice, and then whoever has the best, the most hearts and the most diamonds and the most kings gets to go to different locations and get gold nuggets and money and point victory cards. It's a rollicking good time. Doesn't require a lot of thought, but it is entertaining. That is Dice Town. Number 6. Hey, some people want to kick back and watch a sports, your Monday Night Football or whatever it might be. Well, I got one for you. That's First and Goal. This is a game from R&R Games that doesn't get talked about a whole lot of times. Steve and Glenn designed this little football game in which I'm rolling dice, you're rolling dice, and we're picking, and then we pick we play 2 cards. And I pick my offensive play, you pick your defensive play, we turn them over, and we roll dice and see what happens. That is not too complex, but it does feel like a football game. And it even gets more fun if you buy some of these expansion teams, which don't quite match up to the Philadelphia Eagles or the New York Jets, but you are going to, they do have some different dice to them. I don't know. It's just one that I've always found to be enjoyable. And if you just want to kind of play a sports game at night, this is one I would pick first and goal. Number 5, hey, maybe for you, sitting back at night is watching the stock trade and see what's going on. And Stockpile does that for me. Now, there are a lot of stock market games out there, and they're usually very, thoughtful, buy low, sell high, but there's a lot going on in them. Stockpile is just a little simpler than that. This is a game in which you are, these stocks are going up and down, but you're kind of just buying stocks and selling them. But you know a little bit of the information. You know that this stock's about to go up. You know this stock's about to go down. Everyone knows a little bit of information, so you kind of keep that in there. But it also keeps everything very lighthearted. This is not a game that is over the top, convoluted or just like, it's entertaining, it's silly, but it's a very good game. You can try your hardest to win it, and you'll enjoy it. That's Stockpile. Number 4 is an interesting one, if you can find it. This is Pyramid Arcade. Now, Pyramid Arcade is made from Looney Labs, and Looney Labs has been making pyramid games for years. These little sets of clear pyramids, and there's a ton of games. Pyramid Arcade has a bunch of these games inside it, and it comes with a bunch of sets of these. One's a puzzle, but it's kind of like, hey, let's sit back and see what we can do with a deck of cards. This, you're going to say, let's sit back and see what we can do with a set of pyramids. And that's what's going on here. So you're moving these around and just generally having a blast. So I kind of like this idea at night. Like, let's see what the pyramids have in store for us. Pyramid Arcade, number 4. Number 3 is Reef. Reef is a game about building a coral reef, sort of. It's very, very abstract. But this game from Emerson Matsuuchi is a game in which you are building a reef in front of you with these big, chunky plastic blocks. And you're going to play cards that put the blocks out there and score. But usually the scoring has nothing to do with the color you put out there. So you're trying to figure out the order of playing these. I want to get a lot of purple reef out there so that when I play this card, it's going to score me a lot of points. But it doesn't feel too, taxing on the brain. You're having a good time, but you're also making some strategic choices. For me, it's kind of a good definition of a weeknight game, and it scales really well. I like it a lot. That is Reef. Number 2 is World Wonders. Sometimes you just want to build your empire. And World Wonders is a game in which you are, doing so. You're taking these polyominoes and putting them out and building out different regions in your city. And then you're also building these little world wonders, these wooden pieces, whether it's the pyramids or the Great Wall or whatever it might be. It's just such an entertaining thing. When you're done, you look at your city and say, I built that city. If you're someone who might get online and just get on your computer and play SimCity for a while, this is for you. If you like Tetris, this game is for you. But it also has some fun game mechanisms because you can take one of those world wonders, but if you do that, that kind of ends your turn. So there's some really interesting concepts there. Like I want to take it, but I have to end my turn before someone else does. And it's a fun concept. It has some cool components at a very reasonable price point. World Wonders. And number 1, I don't know, sometimes you just want to watch Star Wars. And so this isn't Star Wars. This is Spark Riders 3000. Spark Riders 3000 is a cooperative game. And a lot of cooperative games are overwhelming, and you sit there and like, stop the world from pandemic. Or fight the big bad guy. Spark Riders 3000, you have a ship. And you're all on the ship, and you're all manning guns, and you all have engines and stuff, and spaceships are attacking you, and you're trading with people, and bad things keep going. But because this game uses a really fun app with a rollicking ride as you go through, it never feels overwhelming. It's kind of like, here we go, get on the Spark Riders 3000, and let's keep the ship from blowing up. And it's going to blow up parts of it, and you know that. So you go in more lighthearted than you would, I think, to other cooperative games. This isn't some grandiose adventure. This is Guardians of the Galaxy, as they're like, just, wow, what's going on? That's what it feels like. It's entertaining. Because it has an app, there is a very strict timeline to it to some degree, but it also has chunky components. You're moving things around, and there's just a fun sense of teamwork. So there you go, folks. Those are my top 10 weeknight games. I could talk about weeknight games of another 200 or so. But these are 10 that came to mind that I thought you would enjoy. I'm Tom Vasel, and you're watching The Dice Tower.
Hey,
everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.